Hey, it's Austin James. Yes, I'm living with diabetes, but it doesn't have to define me. Thanks to the Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor, I get real-time glucose readings throughout the day. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor is small and easy to wear, giving me the freedom to focus on my life as a parent and a musician. Now this is progress. You can get a free sensor at freestylelibre.us.
Offer available for people who qualify. Visit myfreestyle.us to see all terms and conditions. Certain exclusions apply. Data on file. Abbott Diabetes Care. Per prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
Coming up on this episode of DL Weekly, the Disneyland 70th has officially arrived. We talk about all the new things. A missing feature of Adventureland has returned.
An alien has been a menace at Disneyland. Changes to the Animation Academy. We talk about our upcoming trip to the parks and other destinations this time, and more. DL Weekly starts now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome aboard the DL Weekly podcast. Please, lower your head and watch your step while boarding. If this is your first time listening, we hope you'll check out our website at DLWeekly.net. If you have more time to spend, becoming an official weekly tier at DLWeekly.net/support is an especially good value. Thanks for traveling with us today, and we hope you have a happy and memorable listen to this week's episode.
Well, hello and welcome to this episode of DL Weekly for the week of May 21st, 2025. I'm Teresa Urban.
And I'm Tage Bushman. We would like to thank everyone who supports the show. This week, we'd like to give a special shout out to Chris P., Eric J., Sarah C., and Mary H. for supporting the show. If you'd like to help support the show and get ad-free versions of each episode, access to our supporter-only chat where cool things like our book club and hangouts and all that stuff happen, and a bunch of other perks, head on over to DLWeekly.net/support and become an official weekly tier.
Now let's get to the news.
Extra, extra, read all about it. DL Weekly reports from intrepid correspondents Tage and Teresa. You heard it here first, ladies and gents. Breaking news!
The Disneyland 70th finally kicked off on Friday. While the lines for merchandise, 70th experiences, and food were longer than usual, the lines for attractions were very off-season feeling. Rise of the Resistance had a 35-minute standby wait at 4 p.m., and Space Mountain had a 40-minute wait. The other thing, too, I was watching Fresh Bake's video from the day. California Adventure was like a ghost town.
Oh, yeah?
Because everybody wanted to be in Disneyland for the kickoff for the celebration.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is one of those things that I part of me wishes I was there that day, and part of me is glad that I wasn't, because like, I would have wanted to be involved with all the merch and stuff, but man, if you're an attractions person, this would have been a great time to be there. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling that the 17th is going to be like this too. Like, people are going to come and do stuff, and I think obviously the Walt experience at the Opera House is going to be crazy. But the
other thing too is that's the day that the final verse is going to be debuting at Small World. So those two attractions, which don't normally get a whole lot of love, are going to be the most popular for the 17th, the official 70th, the actual 70th anniversary of Disneyland's opening.
Yeah. Why can't we ever be on the parks when it's like the wait times like this?
This was pretty wild. We got to live vicariously through others that were there, that sharing their experiences either on social media or people that we spoke with after the fact. And it just seemed like a really cool and weird day to have been in the parks. Like we were talking about, your attraction wait times were like non-existent, but the demand and queues and craze for the new merch was like, people were queuing up before park open in like Main Street, Town Square area, huge long lines to get into the store because they were at capacity. And then I was seeing people's videos of when they were actually inside of the stores, and it was just packed. So there was a lot of excitement for sure for that. And then we had one of our weekly tiers was in the parks that day, and she was there for some of the morning chaos. She said a lot of people seemed to kind of leave midday, and then the parks kind of just like got quiet, and then all of a sudden it picked up again because the excitement was there for the first official Paint the Night parade. Yes, it debuted a couple days earlier as like a soft open. Same thing with the merch. There was some like soft releases for the 70th merch, so it's not like this was actually the first day people could get their hands on them, but it was the first day people knew for sure they could get their hands on them. But yeah, like Paint the Night viewing areas were full at like an hour or two before the parade. They were making announcements.
It's a great parade.
It is a great parade.
It's great that it's back.
It is. So more on all of those fun details later on in our discussion topic about those things.
Well, the 70th castle sculpture in the Esplanade revealed an interesting twist this week. It's a music box. At least that's what it sounds like. Different music box versions of Disney songs plays throughout the day for passing guests. I heard that people there's some people that like this and some people who don't like it.
I'm holding off judgment. I'm not even going to try and watch a video or somebody's recording of it.
It literally sounds like a music box.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that it maybe sounds and feels different like watching a video or listening to a recording of it than it maybe would be like when you're standing in the middle of the Esplanade. So I'm curious. This was not on my bingo card. I did not think this big sculpture was a music box. So that was pretty surprising to me. I think it surprised others as well. But it makes sense because now that I'm looking at it, knowing it's a music box, I'm like, oh, yeah, I see that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so different, right? Than because they normally play like attraction music and stuff like that in the Esplanade.
It's like the Disney version of elevator music because it's like the songs you know from other things, but it's not quite the same version of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the sculpture itself looks interesting.
Yeah.
I do think the music box thing is just something different. But we'll have to wait and withhold judgment for ourselves until we see it in person.
Well, the new Disney Junior Mickey Mouse Clubhouse live show has debuted in the Disneyland Theater in Disney California Adventure. The new show is a big upgrade from the last show in the theater and is still geared towards younger kids with seating on the floor only. The show features characters, bubbles, snow, disco lighting, and more. Unlike the previous show, Mickey and Minnie are present throughout the show.
Yeah, so I remember seeing this. I don't remember that much about it because I was filling out a Disney park survey when we were there with our friends who have small children, and it was a great opportunity to finally see this, the previous version. So this one, I did kind of scrub through a video that was online of it, and it does look a little bit more lively and fun. And Mickey and Minnie, because in the previous version, like Mickey kind of came out at the end only for a couple minutes and then left, so it was kind of weird.
Sure.
But this was like Mickey Mouse is there like the whole time. So I think for kids and stuff, it seems like it's a lot better. And also just some of the cool stuff, right? Like snow, disco lighting, bubbles.
I love how it's got all of the things.
Yeah.
Right? Like snow was not something I would have thought I would have expected. So we got to go see this. I think this is something we need to see. I was, again, living vicariously through others that were there for the weekend. And Ashley Dixon Shenanigans is her Instagram handle. She's super fun, very bubbly, very positive creator. She went to this and she's like, okay, I know this is a kid's show, but everyone needs to go see this. She said it was really, really fun and really great. So I'm very curious and I'm excited to go check it out.
Yeah.
Plus it's in like one of my favorite buildings in DCA for sure. No,
the Disney Theater?
It's next to my favorite building.
Okay.
Which we'll talk about later.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like,
yeah, no. As soon as I said that, I'm like, wait a minute.
Disney Theater. Okay, I didn't know that.
That's Turtle Talk. That's in the same building, not the Disney Theater. It's neighbors. It's flanking the bathrooms, which are also very, very important.
Sure. Well, after over 2 years, a part of Adventureland has returned in a different form. The Adventureland restrooms across from the entrance to the land have finally lost the not very temporary wall. I say this because it was a temporary wall forever.
Time.
The wall was put up over 2 years ago to cover the damage from a burst water pipe. The new wall features some plants, a highly themed water fountain, and a dividing wall that matches the nearby building. This is great.
I should not be, like, in the internet, too. It should not be nearly as excited about this like bathroom facade update and upgrade, but it looks so good. The thing that is just great about it is they could have done nothing. They could have just made it a wall and just, fixed it and moved on with their lives. That obviously would have been a much quicker thing to do than redoing this, but I think it looks great. I can't wait to see this in person.
What do you think took so long?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know the first thing about, maybe it was just figuring out what they were going to do. Maybe originally they were going to redo it to what it had been, like the rock work that it was before, and that wasn't playing out, or who knows? I have no idea.
Yeah, I just think it's really interesting because...
Or it may just not have been a priority.
Yeah, it's just interesting because it stayed behind walls for so long. It got to the point where I was like, okay, like, sometimes we've talked about this on the show before, that there are some projects at Disneyland that just seem to drag on forever, and you're like, there's no progress, what's going on? So this was one of those kind of projects where it's like, is this ever going to be fixed or something done differently? And I was concerned because a couple weeks ago, we saw some pictures before they had painted the area, and above the wall, you could see, above the temporary wall, you could see the new wall, and it kind of just looked like a plain wall, and I'm like, oh great, they're going to take away this cool themed like rock work, and they're going to make it a plain wall. How boring is that? And then they did this, and it's so much better.
And it is so
I can't wait to see the water running on it, because it doesn't seem to be running yet.
The one thing I'm wondering is, because I feel like a bad fan, I don't fully remember what it used to look like, but I feel like you could sit, like it was kind of a waiting area too. Like a lot of people would be sitting and hanging out along the previous version of the rock work. So it is interesting to me that this is not as like take a seat and wait friendly as what my memory has it as being before. See, look, there's people sitting, there was like a bench, almost like a bench in the rocks that people would sit on. This does not have that. There's like a wooden fence. So you could probably lean against it, but I don't think sitting would be comfortable. But that, looking back at what it was, that was a big... it's been so long since it's been there that I don't remember that. So the wall did replace a lot of the rock work, but the new fountain ties in some of that old rock work, because some of that old rock work's to the side going towards like the women's restroom entrance there. See it to the right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like it though.
I do like it. There is some spot, you can't see it in these photos very well, but I did see in David's Fresh Baked, he was hanging around. There is a section off to the side here that is like a bench area. A little
bit more seating.
Plus, let's be honest, this handrail is low enough. People are going to sit on it.
Yeah. They're going to sit there, or they're going to lean.
Yeah. So
maybe that was intentional.
Better than the fence that was there.
Maybe that was intentional and they didn't want to. I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm happy that it's not just construction walls. I can tell you that much for sure. It was
so long.
I'm trying to think back like when this first happened and what other things kind of happened in the park. Because like I want to say this happened well before they then were having issues over at Jungle Cruise, which I would say Jungle Cruise definitely takes priority over a bathroom wall as far as, we need to get things fixed and ready type thing. But when we were there in August, there was water leaking still at that point. So I don't know what all was going on there.
Yeah, I was just looking at, they had a picture on the Orange County Register that was like,
of it, like
of like up. Them tearing up the thing, but that was quite the thing. Anyway, I'm just glad that it's there and done and looks cool. By the way, that was back in August of 2023 is when this happened. 2023?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Dang. I mean, I knew it felt like a long time, but it's good to know it actually was a while. Wow. Well, the new live-action Lilo and Stitch movie is coming to theaters on May 23rd, and Stitch has stopped by Disneyland to celebrate. Stitch came and had a busy day at the parks, but left behind evidence that he was there. A Stitch-themed window has been taken over outside of the Emporium.
So I didn't actually watch this video.
Look at that. He crash-landed in for the 70th.
Oh, my goodness.
I want to say the premiere for the movie was this past weekend, too.
Oh, okay.
Like the red carpet premiere. It's a busy weekend for Disney.
What do you think about Stitch live action version?
I think they did to make Stitch, the cartoon character, become like real looking, and I think they did a really good job.
It does look like a really good job, yes.
Look at that. He even got the store out of the stone. Good job.
And bought some merch.
Yeah, look, he's got one of the keys. Did you see that? He's got one of the keys, the 60th or 70th anniversary keys, the $60 70th anniversary keys. I love it. That's great.
Oh, yeah. Look at this. One of the windows that looks like he broke through with. Huh.
Fun.
Yeah. Wonderful. Love it. I know there's a lot of Stitch fans out there who are probably very excited for this.
I think it's exciting and fun because, again, not something that they needed to do,
Sure.
but such a fun little crossover and way to promote both of their big things starting and happening just within days of each other. So I thought, good synergy, Disney. Good synergy.
Well, Teresa, I know you're excited for this one. Fans of the Animation Academy unite. New clips that play in the large screens around the main lobby area have been added and include Coco, Princess and the Frog, Moana, Soul, Zootopia, and Encanto. Some clips from Lady the Tramp, Pinocchio, and Frozen were removed to add these.
We are going to have to spend some quality time at the Animation Academy.
Darn, I'm sure you're devastated.
I know. But that space is so cool. Like, to just be in that space and be surrounded and immersed in animation, and then also, like, I just love how it shows all the different stages of some stuff, and like you've got concept art and early renderings, and it gives you a really good peek and like feel into the process that it is to see what we see, the final version, on our screens at home or on the big screen at the theater. But some of these, like, when you were just reading them off, I'm like, wow, how is Princess and the Frog is not a new movie? How has it not been featured? And honestly, gorgeous. The Princess and the Frog, I think, is a very beautifully done film. I have a love-hate relationship with it. It is one of my favorite films, but it also makes me sad because it was I think it was the last full-length feature film that was hand-drawn animation before they transitioned over. But it is stunning, so I can't wait to see that on the big screens. Also, Coco and Encanto were both just very visually amazing and beautiful for the movies, so to again have it like giant on those screens.
I still think that I understand that there's like projectors and stuff, but like I still don't really understand how this room works, to be honest with you.
It's cool.
How they get all these things on the different screens because they're so large. I love first of all, it's a great place to, on a hot day, to kind of hang out and just like take in Disney, or when you're waiting for the Animation Academy and you're just chilling there. So I like the fact that they did something with this, and I don't know why they had to take out other things because like it's just a video reel. Like just make the loop longer.
Yeah, I don't know. I will say this, if money was no object and if the timing wasn't horrible, this is a place, if you have a wedding at the Disneyland Resort, you can have like a reception inside of the Animation Academy.
Can you put your own photos on those screens?
That I don't know, because I didn't tempt myself that much, Tage, because it's very, 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 very expensive. So it definitely was, and you have to do it either
before the park opens,
I think it's only after close or something like that. So two reasons it was not going to work out for me: budgeting, and then just I would have been asleep. But like, wouldn't that just be so cool to have an event in that space? And again, I don't know if you could do your own thing as far as the projections on there, or if it's all just Disney stuff. It'd be
really cool if you could put like your storyline of meeting and like maybe up until this point, like that'd be really cool. Maybe if you have a recommitment ceremony or something in the future,
get married at Disneyland again.
Well, you could have like pictures from your first Disney wedding and stuff in there. I don't know. Do they give you a discount for like a second time?
Kind of like Disney Cruise Line, how you get the if you pre-book, you get a discount.
I mean, you're the travel planner now. You should find out if they have like a
second wedding discount.
Oh God, can you imagine all the people? I can just see it right now. Vern, we're getting divorced so we can get married again.
No, there's somebody on... Okay, this is very off track. I apologize, everyone. There's someone on Instagram, and she was actually in my Disney planning Facebook group when I was planning, and she has nicknamed herself the Serial Bride because she has had... And it's her and her husband. It's not like she's marrying new people. Have had multiple Disney weddings. Like, I'm saying like...
They just go do it again?
6 or 7
Just
Disney
because?
Weddings. Yeah, they just love it. So, I mean, I guess if you've got the time and the money
you can't
and
just book
the
it
desire,
for a party, right? Because you can't just go to Disney and be like, I want to have a party.
No.
So you just have to be like...
You can, but I don't know if you can do stuff, like if they'll let you do stuff in... I have no idea.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I know back in the day, like if you were really rich, like Michael Jackson rich, like he used to rent the park out for the day and stuff like that. But also it wasn't as popular back then as it is now. So who knows? I don't know.
Hey, it's Austin James. If you're like me, trying to live your best life while living with diabetes, you can relate to worrying if you're doing a good job managing your diabetes. I use the Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor to get real-time glucose readings and see the impact of every meal and activity to make better decisions. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor can help me live life with diabetes on my own terms, and it gives me more time for the things I love, like being a dad and a musician. Now this is progress. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
I'm not exactly a tech genius, but I knew one thing for sure. If I wanted my small business to crush it, I needed a website that worked like a pro, and I needed it yesterday. Lucky for me, Bluehost made it ridiculously easy. With their AI design tools, building my website was a walk in the park. I could customize, optimize, and monetize everything exactly how I wanted. In just a few minutes, I had a secure site up and running. I couldn't believe how straightforward it was. And getting found online? Bluehost helped me with that too. I perfected my keywords and meta descriptions with their search engine tools. The AI even gave me suggestions to improve my pages. Now I can sit back, relax, and focus on my customers, while my website continues to rank higher and higher on Google. With their 30-day money-back guarantee, I wasn't worried about taking the plunge. And now I'm so glad I did. Head over to Bluehost.com and build something special today.
I am Groot.
What do you mean you're hungry? Kraglin needs those pots for the rehydrator. We don't have time for snacks.
I am Groot.
Were you talking to Tage and Teresa again? How'd they even get a hold of you?
I am Groot.
Fine. One snack. That's it.
I am Groot.
No, I haven't seen any churros. You gotta talk to Vern. And stop smiling.
Well, this week for Snack Chat, we have a trio of dining locations. All of these are located, if you're heading down the parade route in DCA, it is across from the San Francisco area on the right-hand side if you're going towards Paradise Bay. So it's right there across from that. And what's the first place?
We are checking out the Magic Key Terrace, which if you've not been up there, highly recommend going up there.
Did you have to be a Magic Key holder?
You do have to be a Magic Key holder or with a Magic Key holder. They do also take dining reservations. And little known fact, you can also do World of Color dining reservations for reserved seating for World of Color at the Magic Key Terrace as well. But they are open for both lunch and dinner. I believe, yes, it is the same menu for lunch as it is for dinner, but they've got some bites and appetizers. The thing that I find fun that you will notice as we go through this is all of the dishes are like the naming is intentional and it's themed. So we've got the Bountiful Valley Charcuterie, which is of course a chef's selection of cheese and meats. That one's probably the deep dive of how that ties in, but Bountiful Valley was like DCA 1.0, kind of a throwback to that.
Yeah, because there was the Bountiful Valley Farm, which was right across the parade route where the entrance to Cars Land is now, yes. They also have an Emperor's New Flatbread, which I don't know if you can tell where that one's from. There's oh my goodness, a huacate marinated chicken. Actually, I think I did pretty okay on that.
Good job.
And a huaca and smoked mozzarella radish. Oh gosh, one sauce. Oh my goodness. A bunch of other stuff. A lot of great stuff on this flatbread.
There's a San Francisco short rib, which is white miso smashed edamame, carrot ginger puree, roasted edamame, bacon, pineapple, togarashi gel. Interesting. Pickled ginger, green onions, and a teriyaki reduction.
There's a Route 66 fried chicken, which is fried Cornish hen with roasted garlic mashed potatoes, roasted seasonal vegetables, and a mushroom herb gravy. As
well as a Luca seafood pasta, which is pesto marinated with grilled shrimp, white wine steamed clams, Spanish chorizo, and pappardelle pasta, tossed in a spicy cream tomato sauce.
See, you had me until it was a spicy cream tomato sauce, because I was like, I want to, spicy.
You're like, yes, no.
Of course, there's some plant-based offering. There is a Jolly tomato basil soup with house ricotta, basil pesto, herb croutons, and micro basil.
A Caesar salad with romaine pepita Caesar dressing, roasted garlic croutons, green olives, and Parmesan.
And there's an Ursula cauliflower chili negro, which is a tried-colored cauliflower in an agua chili negro sauce with cucumbers, jimika, pickled red onions, avocado mousse, ninja radish, and micro cilantro served with chips.
I'm That sounds good. I'm curious about this Ursula cauliflower.
I bet you it looks cool.
There's also some sliders that you can order. Angus beef slider with cheese on a toaster slider bun that's served with seasonal fruit and potatoes. There's a kids meal mac and cheese. Ooh, desserts.
Desserts. There's a tiramisu bread pudding and a gray stuff tart, which is a chocolate tart with red velvet cake and raspberry marmalade filled with raspberry and gray stuff mousse. That's it. We should try here because I think I want to maybe I'll try the pasta. We'll see if it's too bad for me.
And see how
and you could do the Ursula thing, and then we could share a gray stuff tart.
And I'm curious about the tiramisu bread pudding, though. It's sourdough bread pudding, espresso liqueur, mascarpone cream, and chocolate shavings. You like tiramisu, don't you?
I do.
And then there's all sorts of fun seasonal cocktails. There's wine, beer, and hard seltzer, and of course some non-alcoholic beverages. I do need to mention a very adorable themed drink that we have gotten, but unfortunately did not hit the mark for us. The Heimlich Choo Choo Juice. It is non-alcoholic, but it is Minute Maid lemonade with Granny Smith apple syrup topped with a fresh watermelon.
It's all the stuff that you had in the Heimlich Choo Choo train. Right next door also has the same lunch and dinner menu.
Lower. The
lower
level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is the Wine Country Trattoria. And so for appetizers, there's a pull-apart cheese bread, which has sun-dried focaccia, whipped herb ricotta, mozzarella, tomato coulis, chili flakes, and micro herbs. God, why do we never eat at any of these places?
We've eaten at Wine Country Trattoria, but it was for like Oogie Boogie packet. That's new, that pull-apart cheese bread, I think. Okay, there's also fried calamari and a soup del giorno, which is just the chef's featured soup. Entrees, we've got a ribeye steak, shrimp Alfredo, a hearty short rib pasta.
There's a spaghetti bolognese, a chicken parmesan, a Wine Country Trattoria salad with shrimp, and a sea bass. By the way, going back to the ribeye steak, it comes with a mascarpone roasted garlic mashed potatoes, balsamic pearl onions, glazed baby carrots, and porcini mushroom demi-glaze.
I was all
You
excited
could probably
for
get
this.
them to not put the porcini mushroom glaze.
No glaze.
But that mascarpone, oof. All of this.
I was just all excited about the short rib pasta, but there's also onions, mushrooms in that one too. None of these things sound like so many good, yummy sounding, delicious things. For plant-based options, there's a aguilo olio, which is lightly tossed with seasonal vegetables, garlic, chili flakes, lemon, olive oil, white wine sauce. I need to look up what that is.
Yeah. They also have a tomato salad, which is citrus marinated tomatoes, house-made ricotta, pesto, basil, and watercress with sourdough croutons. And finally, a peaches and cream creme brulee tart with whipped chantilly cream and oat streusel.
Basically, so the aglio olio is spaghetti with garlic, and it's a very light pasta. So it's spaghetti tossed with garlic and olive oil.
It looks really good.
It does look good. Did you do both?
I did.
It kind of reminds me, it's not quite, but it's giving me like the Luca vibes of the pasta dish that they like, the simple, like sometimes it's those simple things that are just so delicious. Kids, they need this for adults. Create your own entrees for kids. So you've got chicken breast, salmon, pasta with marinara and meatballs, or cheese pizza. And then you can choose if you want fresh fruit, roasted potatoes, or broccoli along with it. That's fun.
Yeah. They have the tiramisu bread pudding here as well. And fountain beverages, Joffrey's coffee, teas, etc.
All sorts of cocktails and beer, ciders, and seltzers, wine flights, sparkling and white wines, red wines, all sorts of fun stuff.
I think we need to check this out one of the future trips because this aglio olio looks, I kind of want it.
It looks very delicious.
Why have we not even heard about this before?
And last but not least, so so all of these places are basically on top of each other. And if you didn't know any better, you'd think it's the same restaurant or eatery, but it's three separate things. So Magic Key Terrace is on like the upstairs. Everything's open. So like it's open to like the parade route into the park, but Magic Key Terrace is above, and then the Sonoma Terrace, which is the next one, is just to the left of the Wine Country Trattoria, which is kind of the big main space. Mm-hmm. But it for a long time, I didn't realize that it was all separate. I thought it was just one very large restaurant, and in my defense, the Magic Key Terrace did not exist at that time. So, but anyways, so the Sonoma Terrace is more of like a lounge, and it's got, there's a Bavarian pretzel there, and then you can get a cheese cup with it.
Such good sounding
There's
stuff.
all sorts of cocktails, draft beers, wine, bottled beverages. So really mostly beverages
Snacky
there.
and beverages.
And then you've got the pretzel for something to snack on while you drink your stuff. Look at these cocktails sound good though. We've got a prickly pear margarita, a pineapple passion, which is rum with flavors of pineapple and passion fruit, and a Craftwell hibiscus lemonade.
This just sounds, all of this sounds good. I just saw something. Okay, so here's a weird thing for me. I feel like, and I don't know why, but I feel like there was years that I didn't know this whole complex even existed.
It's true. It's kind of one of those like hidden in plain sight. Like if you don't really know, and if you're not really looking for it, it kind of almost blends in a little bit.
I think that, yeah. So see, back in the day, I'm looking at some Street View stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They had this really kind of camouflage. But if you look, they've taken down a lot
I'm
of
sad that they've taken some of that down. I mean, I get it. They expanded the seating, but they had all sorts of like trees. There was shade along that portion of the parade route, which is not something you see very much in DCA, I feel. It's getting better because, the trees that are there are getting bigger and such. But yeah, it was very camouflage because they had a lot of like trees and garden kind of buffering the main walkway from these seating areas.
Well, mark your calendars, weekly tiers. Our next meetup will be on June 1st. That is less than 2 weeks away at this point. Join us at the Fireplace near Tongaro Terrace at the Disneyland Hotel. We'll be hanging out there from 3 to 5 p.m. Meeting you is one of the best parts of our trip, so we would love it if you'd stop by and say hello. If for some reason you can't make the meetup, we will be around in the park, so if you do see us, please don't hesitate to come and say hi. Actually, speaking of this, I was watching the 70th video from Ordinary Adventures, and it was actually kind of fun. Did you watch that video?
Not yet.
It was kind of funny. There was a scene where they're a scene, like it's a whole scripted thing. They're walking down, I want to say Main Street, and they're talking about something. And this person, like, you could see them run up to next to them, and then like it cuts, but then they cut back to them, and they said like, "Oh, like if you ever see us in the park, please come say hi. Like, don't ever feel afraid," because like they were just really thankful that they could do this. I did not realize that Kitra and Peter met during the 60th anniversary of Disneyland, because they said like Paint the Night was really emotional for them because it was like one of the first things that they did together, like on a date or whatever. I was like, I thought they were married for like ever. Anyway,
they're
not even married, are they?
Nope.
See, my whole I don't even understand them. I don't watch them as much as you do.
Need to learn more about them.
Sure,
they're wonderful.
But we're the same way. If you see us in the park, say hi. We'd love to say hi to you.
Your attention, please. DL Weekly Trivia is now leaving for a Grand Circle tour of the Magic Kingdom, with stops at New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. All weekly tiers for...
Welcome to Trivia Land, where we've got 5 wonderful questions all lined up for you. How are you two feeling tonight? Do you have some wonderful knowledge in your head? You ready to go? You up for the challenge?
I was feeling okay until when you were prepping trivia, had this like evil like chuckle going on while you were going.
I prefer to call it a cackle.
Okay, I think that's
that
worse.
Makes it worse. Yeah,
I think that's worse. But yeah, so I'm nervous about Trivia Land this week because of your evilness.
When I made such utterance, I heard James say, "Ooh, I love when you make that sound."
Yeah, that's.
Oh, is that the noise that he was commenting on?
Yes,
his evil chuckle or cackle. Excuse me.
All right, so listeners, I believe it went like.
That is a cackle. That's like downright villain right
Not
there.
Not good. Disney villain. Mm-mm.
Well, James appreciates that sound, and I...
It's because he's not on the receiving end.
You know what? We need to come up with a trivia, like a reverse trivia.
You've done that to us. It didn't go well for you.
We need to do like a reverse trivia spectacular.
You did that to us, and we did very well.
Well, we weren't hard enough.
Spectacular? Yeah, I think we were being nice. We were throwing you softballs. We're gonna
When we're in the park, we
get
need to
more
do like they do
specific.
and start taking notes of like
Yeah.
weird crap.
If I
Yeah.
remember correctly, actually, what you did was you asked a whole bunch of questions that we have asked
Probably, yeah.
And we just kind of looked at each other like, well, all right, here we go.
You know what we do to really get them, Teresa? We take that Disneyland encyclopedia you have right there,
Oh,
flip to random
I was gonna-
pages, and just ask random stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you remember back before we started getting the listener submitted questions, that's actually how we used to come up with our questions for you, was we'd flip open the Disneyland encyclopedia. So,
Or
Lord.
Disneyland Encyclopedia.
yeah.
That's a great resource, though.
It was.
is.
It's come in handy more than once. Well, shall we get to tonight's questions?
Yeah, I guess we've delayed it as far as we possibly could.
All right. Well, as you know, Disneyland is celebrating its 70th anniversary
Hey,
this
at least we
year.
know something.
We know that. Yes.
Well, I know that you can answer most questions about the events of 70 years ago. But can you answer correctly with the year of notable events of the 1970s?
Oh, jeez.
We could try.
Get it? 70 years, 1970s.
There's the cackle.
Well, all right, let's start this
Just shaking my
adventure.
head.
In what year did Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom open?
1971.
I concur.
Well, final answer.
October 1st?
It was October something. I don't remember.
I
The
think it's
date,
October
but yeah.
1st, 1971.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Final.
All right.
Because Epcot opened October 1st, 82 or something, right?
Oh. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot that it was, same day, different year. Forgot
All
about
right. Second question. I'll give you a hint. It's somewhere in the 1970s. Tomorrowland expands with the addition of Space Mountain and the GE Carousel of Progress, further diversifying the park's offerings.
So that's 77?
that. Yeah. Space Mountain was 77.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Carousel of Progress was the
Because
same.
am I crazy? Was Space Mountain, did it open first in 75 in Magic Kingdom?
It opened at Magic Kingdom first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that 75 though?
Could have been.
Like you're like, could have been. We're not WDW Weekly.
No.
All right, so final answer, 1977.
77 in Disneyland.
That's
yeah.
also the year that Star Wars A New Hope came out.
Look at that. Who knew you knew the 70s so well?
I didn't even live a single second in the 70s, so that's pretty good, I guess.
All right, your third question. Disney's River Country Water Park opens, marking the beginning of Disney's expansion into water parks.
That's okay.
That's
this is
Disney
not
World.
Walt Disney World Weekly. So
I said notable events in Disney history. I didn't
Okay,
specifically say
okay.
Disneyland.
okay.
I know that
I'm
like
gonna
they're
say 79. I have no idea. I actually wouldn't have thought it was like in the 70s. That's why I'm going to 79.
they closed in the 90s. I'll go 78. It might have been earlier though. Anyway,
79 and 78.
All right, 79 and 78 final answers.
yeah.
Good as it's going to get.
All right. And your fourth question, the Main Street Electrical Parade makes its Florida debut, becoming a beloved tradition at Disney World.
Well, it premiered at Disneyland in 72.
I don't know when it moved to Florida. It was moved to Florida in the 70s. Like it was only at Disneyland
No, I'm-
for a couple of years and then
Well,
went.
I think they duplicated it. Like I don't think they moved it. I think they
Are you
made a
sure?
second copy.
I thought they moved it.
Well, then when would they have moved it? Because it had to have been in Disneyland in 1976, because that's when they added to Celebrate America, the whole last thing, right?
Okay.
Was for the centennial. Centennial? No, the bicentennial. Did you know, by the way? I'm sure you did. Did you know that we're pretty close to 250 years?
Oh no, I didn't know.
Yeah.
that. Okay,
Next year.
back to the Main Street Electrical Parade. So if they added that float in, you said when? 75?
76,
6.
because it was with the bicentennial.
I'm gonna say I don't know, 3 or 4, 73 or 74.
I'll say 74.
Okay, then I'll say 73.
There you go.
All right, that was 74 and 73 final answers.
Final.
All right.
Not very good, I don't think.
And your fifth and final question of the night. Construction begins on Epcot, fulfilling Disney's long-term vision for a research and development center.
How many years was it under construction?
I don't know.
I'm going to say 78.
I'm saying 78.
Yeah, 78.
78. Final answer.
Yeah.
Final.
All right. Well, listeners, do you remember the 1970s? Do you
At
think that
Disney
Tage and
World.
Teresa...
Yeah, mainly Disney World.
Do you think Tage and Teresa knew enough of the notable dates about the 70s and expansion of Disney parks? Stick around until after the discussion and we can all find out together.
You know what we did? We made a mistake.
You know what we learned?
There was a time vortex, and we went to Trivia Land in Disney World.
Yeah.
It's like Galaxy's Edge. There's like a duplicate on each side.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, it's Austin James. If you're like me, trying to live your best life while living with diabetes, you can relate to worrying if you're doing a good job managing your diabetes. I use the Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor to get real-time glucose readings and see the impact of every meal and activity to make better decisions. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor can help me live life with diabetes on my own terms, and it gives me more time for the things I love, like being a dad and a musician. Now this is progress. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
I'm not exactly a tech genius, but I knew one thing for sure. If I wanted my small business to crush it, I needed a website that worked like a pro, and I needed it yesterday. Lucky for me, Bluehost made it ridiculously easy. With their AI design tools, building my website was a walk in the park. I could customize, optimize, and monetize everything exactly how I wanted. In just a few minutes, I had a secure site up and running. I couldn't believe how straightforward it was. And getting found online? Bluehost helped me with that too. I perfected my keywords and meta descriptions with their search engine tools. The AI even gave me suggestions to improve my pages. Now I can sit back, relax, and focus on my customers, while my website continues to rank higher and higher on Google. With their 30-day money-back guarantee, I wasn't worried about taking the plunge. And now I'm so glad I did. Head over to Bluehost.com and build something special today.
Well, for this week, for our discussion topic, we're doing it a little bit early because we're going to experience a lot of the 70th anniversary things. So Teresa thought it would be a good idea to do this week to talk about our trip plans that we normally do like the week right before we go. But this time, since it includes so many 70th anniversary things, we'd talk about it today.
Yeah, so I think we'll probably start off with what is specific to the 70th that we're excited about, because I think that's what everyone is super excited about now. I mean, we're really excited about all of our special plans that we've got too, of course, but the 70th is kind of like the big thing. So right now, the biggest thing that's probably blowing up the internet the most is those darn keys to Disneyland, which we've talked about them. We've gone back and forth. We all know Tage is committed. He is getting one. We are bringing a giant bag so that we can make sure it fits in our suitcase luggage home.
It's not as big as we thought it was, though.
No, it's not. But this experience looks like, I think you and I had high expectations for it, and it sounded like we were really excited about it when they announced it. But watching people's experience, watching it actually go, it's better than what I thought it was going to be. So the key itself, it's not a inexpensive item. It's $60 to get the key, and you can pick it up basically at any of the merch locations. A lot of people were going crazy and thinking you could only pick it up in the Emporium. Not true. You can go all the way back to Pooh Corner. You can go back in Toontown. You can go to Starcade. They've got the key locks, the locks to each of the lands, I guess is what we'll call them, the lock stations. The keyholes are throughout the park, so it makes sense that you can purchase the key throughout the park as well.
They have them in some strange locations, because I was watching David's Fresh Bake video, I think, but they were it was Ordinary Adventures because they wanted one and their friend got one.
Oh, sure.
And they were like, because they found it back in Toontown and it was the last one, and so he got it. So they're like, well, now, because Kitra thought it was going to be not a big thing. She's like, I don't know, it's going to be, but now she's like, now I've seen it, I want one. So I knew for me that I was already there. But what's interesting is they have one by the Toontown Depot train station. That's where one of the key locations is.
There's a fun little interesting thing with Toontown. Toontown has 2 key location spots, because one is actually inside of the land.
Yeah.
But since the land is not open for the majority of park hours. There's a second one that's outside of Toontown, and it's at the Toontown station. So
that's good to know.
If you don't make it to Toontown while Toontown is open, it's not like, sorry, you missed your chance.
Because they close it for fireworks.
Yeah. Do they? No, they do open it right away.
They do.
Used to
now
have
that Mickey and Minnie is back there, they reopen it.
Yeah, they used to have a delayed opening, but not anymore. You can rope drop Toontown still.
And then the other weird location for me was like there's one by the restrooms in New Orleans Square, which I'm like, that's already like a really busy spot.
I was surprised that they didn't have that one in the new space,
the courtyard
the
area,
Magnolia Gardens or whatever they're calling, whatever it's called. I was surprised that it wasn't there, but
Also, I feel like the one at the front of the park, the like last one, to me that should be in Town Square.
Sure.
But it's because you have to walk out the exit tunnel, and it's right there. It's where that box has been forever. That's where it is.
The mystery of the box. Has been
maybe,
uncovered.
But that's where it is. Well, it's a lamp, it's a head. It's a topiary Mickey with the light post behind, like a fake light post that looks like Toontown almost.
So
and all of them burst out bubbles and sing songs.
Yeah,
and
so that's
some
the
of them
thing
do cool light projections.
That's amazing about this is so the key itself, right, is this plastic thing. It looks like it's probably about as long as like your forearm.
They said it's the size of a bubble wand.
There you go. It's the size of a bubble
wand. Like you've actually surmised.
When you turn it on, though, you can press a button, and it's Walt giving the opening day speech. And then as you go to each of the lands to unlock the lands, or each of the stations to unlock the lands, when it does it, the station itself comes to life. The key comes to life and like glows different colors. There's music specific to that land that's playing from the station, but then it also the key starts playing music from the station. It's such a fun, everybody, maybe they're just hamming it up for the cameras, but everybody that I've seen that's done it, it just brings such a smile to so many people's faces because it's much more interactive and fun than I was expecting.
Did you think it was just going to be like the Magic Band things, like where for the 100, where you got near it and made like a noise, and you're like, oh, okay.
A little bit, but better than that, but not to this level.
Sure.
Because then the other cool thing too is then as you unlock the lands, there's a little icon for each land that then illuminates on your key, so you can see exactly which lands you've unlocked, which lands you still need to go. It's much more. The key itself is much more advanced than I was assuming it was going to be.
So do you still want the key? Or not want the key, I guess I
can't decide. I like that you're getting one, so we can do it.
I thought you were also getting one because you wanted the pin.
I know, that's the problem, is I really like the pins, but I can't buy this thing for $60 because I like the pin. I don't know. Well, it'll be a game time decision.
You don't think
I'm leaning
you don't think
no.
it'll be you don't think that'll be the experience will be worth $60?
Not because you and I think since you and I do the park together, you experiencing it is good enough for me.
Sure.
It's kind of like a shared experience almost, even if you're the one doing it. I don't need to you do it and then I do it.
Sure.
That's not as exciting. I think just going through it in general is what I'm excited to see.
So like you were saying, I saw people using it and it looked like a lot of fun, and it is more advanced than I thought it was. One of the things that one of the people were saying too is that after you unlock the land, you can then cycle through the color of the land. So if you unlock, let's say one of the lands is red and one of the lands is yellow.
Sure.
You could cycle the key from being white, yellow, and red.
That's interesting.
So when you go do and I don't know if it does it for individual people, but I know for when they were demoing it, you can play the music. For each, so I don't know how that all works, but I feel like you should be able to.
There's I was watching Fresh Bake's video. There's buttons and stuff on it.
Okay.
There was a button that they were pressing to play the opening day speech.
Sure.
So I'm sure once we get our hands on it and we start using it, I'm sure it'll make more sense.
What a cool!
It's
merchandise
very
thing.
Very cool. It's really cool.
Something.
It's kind of almost it's Disney's version of the wand interaction.
Sure.
It's not that level, because some of the stuff, especially that they've been showing for Epic Universe, that you can magic with your wands in the Wizarding Worlds is wild and very, very cool. But this is something kind of moving Disney theme parks towards that, because they don't have I guess maybe you could have like, I don't know, the Blue Fairy's wand or something, but like it's a magical world, but a different type of magical
What they
world.
should do is they should do it for Galaxy's Edge. Like if you move
Yeah.
your hands in a certain way, it feels like the Force.
Oh, there you go.
So the next thing, these cards. Talk about these cards.
I'm so excited about this. So this is an experience.
Aren't you glad you got a magic band now?
I'm going to say it's a free experience because the only thing you have to have is a magic band, which if you do not already own a magic band plus, they are like, I don't know, $30, $40. And they do more than just unlock land. So you do have to have something to do this, but it's something that you can use for other things around the park. It can be your park, you can link your park tickets to it. You can link your photo pass to it. If you use Lightning Lane, that's linked up to it because that's through your ticket. So it like buzzes and flashes and interacts with different parts of the park, different shows, that sort of thing. But what they did was they went around and made these, I don't know, like not really interactive, but they're like these little ticket booth type things. One of them is actually the ticket booth on Main Street for the Main Street Cinema. So you can go visit Tilly. You just put your magic band up to the little touch point there, and it has like the little 70th logo on it. And it spits out a Main Street Cinema ticket for you, and it says admit 110 cents, and it says a new verse, which is a tribute to the Sherman brothers. So it looks like a ticket stub. And the thing that's really neat about this is somehow this is smart enough and does do some printing on demand as you do this. It's not like it just dispenses these tickets out, because it knows if you are just a like a ticket holder, if you're a magic key holder, if you're a Club 33 member, and maybe there was one other one that it also recognized, but it has different little things that it will print on there for that. So like it says something, like, yeah. Anyway, so there's different little things that it prints per whatever you are that's linked to your magic band. And so there's, I think, like 4 of these stations around the parks.
Just the 4?
I think it's just the 4.
I was looking in the app trying to see if it's on like the map.
I think there's the one on Main Street, and then there's like a hub of 3 of them in Frontierland. And Frontierland prints one for the Mark Twain, one for the Golden Horseshoe Review, and then one for the Disneyland Railroad. I'm a little sad that the Disneyland Railroad one doesn't print at like the Main Street train station.
Okay.
The main train station.
So from the Disneyland app, if you do a search for Magic
Jungle
Band,
Cruise is another one.
there's a map that you can find it, but they say the 5 locations are Tilly's booth on Main Street, Frontierland booth at the Silver Spur Supplies, celebrating Golden Horseshoe, and the Mark Twain and the Disneyland Road. So those 3 are at that one.
Yep.
The Fantasyland window by Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, celebrating Snow White Attraction, Mad Tea Party, Toad's Ride, Peter Pan's Flight, and King Arthur Carousel. There's the Skipper Lockers at the Jungle Cruise at Adventureland, and coming soon, Autopia and Tomorrowland.
So I think the Fantasyland just is an interaction thing. I don't think it spits a ticket out from what I've seen.
When you unlock all 5 interactions, you commemorate your celebration. So I don't know what that means.
Oh, okay. Maybe there is one. I just haven't seen it. We will find out in a week and a half. I'm so curious about this.
Yeah, so unlock surprises with your Magic Band Plus, which will light up and respond to each location with custom light effects, music, and sounds unique to the attraction.
There you go. This is something that I wasn't expected to be this. I was excited that, yay, Magic Bands are going to have something more that we can do with them at Disneyland. And I was just excited about that, even if it was just like unlocking fun little magical things. But the fact that you also get these little souvenirs too, it reminds me of Fast Passes. And I was totally that kid that kept my Fast Passes like they were souvenirs. So, and the artwork on these, I really like. Like, I think I'm going to try and figure out a way to frame these. I don't know if I need to try and get 2 sets of them so I can have them framed front and back, because both sides are very unique and interesting. So
it's 1 ticket
I'm
per
really
day,
excited
so you
about
could
this.
get multiples.
Look at that. Okay, so there I can get a set of 2 so I can frame them and have front and backs. I just think it's so fun.
I like your idea of framing it too, because they are pretty cool.
In the Mice Chat article, they do confirm the Fantasyland window does not dispense tickets.
Sure.
It's just like a magic interaction thing.
So let's start with the smaller thing, and this is the projection moment, they call it, at Carthay.
Oh, yeah.
So this is actually really neat. So it's just It's pretty short. It's just about the length of time of the Celebrate Happy song that is the kind of theme song sung by the Jonas Brothers for the 70th anniversary, which, we listened to it when we talked about it. Was it last week or was it on our stream
that was during
or something?
our streams this weekend.
And I will tell you, you're absolutely right. Once you add the visuals with it, you're like, okay, this kind of little bopping. It's bopping a little bit more. So I thought it was cute. I thought it was neat. It was something additional. I'm all for Disney doing these so when they had Don't Talk About Bruno on
the
It's a Small World, and they have now the Celebrate Happy.
It's the Tapestry of
Happiness, also, which we'll talk about in a minute. But these are kind of these little things that I'm like, this is kind of a cool thing, and it happens multiple times during the night.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Did
you see any of it?
Nope. I'm trying to stay spoiler free since we have it's only 2 weeks right between when this all started and when we're going to be there. This is the closest I think we've been to a big celebration start.
Well, Pixar Fest, the first time you and Vern were there when it happened, weren't you? That was
we were there
long
during
time ago.
Pixar Fest, but it wasn't the start of Pixar Fest. You and I just missed the most recent Pixar Fest. We watched them install everything, but we weren't there for the actual start of it. We did get to see a preview of the fireworks show, the Pixar fireworks show. But anyways, back on fun small things. I want to talk about the cavalcade really quickly. It's called the Celebrate Happy Cavalcade that happens at Disneyland. You guessed it. So it's a little sad that we didn't get a full daytime parade and we just have a cavalcade. But what is fun is they brought all of the colors and designs and everything to life. Very fun costumes are in here. All sorts of characters are in this cavalcade, including Duffy and
Sally Mae
and Shelley Mae.
Mae, sorry.
Duffy and Shelley Mae it looks like they're leading this little cavalcade.
They do.
But look at the dancers' outfits are really fun and unique and just bright and colorful. So I'm curious about this one. This one also uses the Jonas Brothers songs. So they kind of joked at MiceChat the Jonas Brothers are everywhere.
They are,
because they use the song on a lot of different things. But this looks fun, cute and short. So since it's short, I wish it were a longer something maybe it'd be amazing if they would have had Magic Happens and Paint the Night. But actually, no, take that back because we already have everything's a repeat parade except for the cavalcade because Better Together and Paint the Night we've had before, so they're just recycling them. I would have liked a new daytime parade, something brand new.
Yeah, but that means you'd probably never see Magic Happens again because they'd probably replace it.
Nope, because Paint the Night came back, Tage, and
but they didn't have another nighttime parade that they had to build new, is what I'm saying.
Oh, sure.
So I still can't believe it boggles my mind that it sat in a warehouse for almost 10 years.
Just chilling.
This Tapestry of Happiness was really cool. I thought that it was some of the graphics. If you're a nostalgic person, this is for you because this has tons of old attractions. There was the Skyway bucket show up. The People Mover shows up.
Look at that.
Just a ton of stuff shows up in here that's just really fun. I think that they have used the facade of Small World so well in this. And it's just amazing. They just did such a great job. And I think Small World is such a unique surface to project on that you could do so much with it. The old school monorails go zipping back and forth. Walt talks for a little bit, I want to say. So there was a lot of cool stuff in this because MiceChat was there opening night. And he did what I think is a good pro tip for people. If you don't need to see the fireworks from Main Street, hang by Small World Mall, catch the Tapestry of Happiness, and then just a few minutes later, Paint the Night comes out the gates there.
There you go.
And then a little bit after that, fireworks. So you could just knock off 3 nighttime things in one location. Although I did laugh because in the video that he did, all these people are sitting here waiting for Paint the Night, and I don't think they realized the Tapestry of Happiness was going to start.
So they didn't turn around.
So once it started, everybody was you could see everybody kind of have this realization that this is happening, and they're kind of confused. And they're oh, it's happening behind us. And
what's happening? What's going on? I don't see it. Oh,
exactly. So I hope they continue to do little things like this on It's a Small World because they use the big spotlights done really well. Of course, they use the projections really well. The music is great and all of that stuff. So they do just an amazing job at all of this. And it's definitely something that I maybe wasn't expecting, but glad that they have.
Yeah, it looks super fun.
Yeah.
Well, that leads up to the thing that we've been most excited. Well, no, that doesn't. We still have another thing that we've been super excited about. Paint the Night. We'll just kind of go in chronological order.
Sure.
Paint the Night is back since 2018, I think?
2018, somewhere in there.
2018, I think, was the last time. That was when it was in DCA. It's back. The thing that's fun is they did do some enhancements, I guess we'll say, with some of the floats and some of the costumes, but it's the same. So if you did get to see it back when it was around for, what was it, the 60th at first, and then when it was back again for Pixar Fest in DCA, or for DCA, it's still the same stuff, but it's just been plussed.
Yeah.
So all the same things. We're watching a video right now, and like the Mack truck, but like the different lighting effects in his semi-trailer seem to have been updated and like crisper and cooler.
There's graphics. There's like things happening.
Yeah, it used to just be colors, but now there's actually things going on. Same thing, the parade, like the opening parade float drum thing, I guess is what I'll call it. I think that's what it is, a big drum.
Yep.
That Peter Pan's sitting on top of. They updated, of course, the graphics for that. So it even says, like, the 70th anniversary logo appears on that.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like that screen is much like crisper and clearer than what I remembered it being. And then same thing, some of the costumes were updated as well. So like Tinkerbell still looks like Tinkerbell, but she just has a new lighted costume than when she had it last time we saw her.
Yeah. I knew I missed this parade, but watching some videos online made me realize how much I missed this parade. And what's funny is my memory feels like this ran more than it ran, but also like less. It's, it's one of those weird things. So I just can't believe that it was gone for so long. And I'm just really happy they brought it back. And I'm hoping that they keep it back for a good long while. I know we have it at least through next summer. So this is just amazing, and I'm just so happy that it's back, and dreams come true. Yes.
I feel like since we started this podcast, since it went away, you've just been saying, bring it back. Where's Paint the Night? Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. So the fact that it's back, like, it's not just announced that it's back. No, it's back. It's physically back in the parks. It's performing nightly. Like, just super, super
Speaking
exciting.
of a nighttime thing that's great that's back, Wondrous Journeys is back. And that has not really been updated. It's kind of the same show it was.
Yeah, because Wondrous Journeys, right, was for the Disney 100, which was
4 years ago.
No, really?
Wasn't it 21?
No, the Disney 100.
When was the Disney 100? It was, because we went to Europe and the Disney 100 exhibition was playing.
Oh my gosh, it doesn't seem like that's been 4 years ago already. Okay, that's crazy. No.
2022. Okay, but still, that's only a year difference.
2022 is when it was there. Okay, but still, yeah. So 22 was when this first debuted in the parks. It's really lovely because it's got, if you're a fan of like Disney animation, it touches on so many different, well, all of the films. They're in there, like there's little nods to all the films. The music is great. The projections are beautiful. This is one too that, yes, it's always magical to watch it from like Main Street to see the things on, like close in Main Street, but close to the castle, if that makes sense. Sure. If you could be sitting right in front of the castle, that would be the most magical spot you could possibly be, but that's a very, very difficult, hard coveted spot.
1923. So it was in 2023 is when all the stuff started, because it was the Disney 100 and it started that summer.
That makes, wow, I feel like a really bad fan.
That's okay. We had a lot of anniversaries lately of things that came and went. So we had the Disney World 50th and the Disney 100 and then this and yeah.
So, they must have started some of the anyways, that makes sense. Because I'm like, I feel like it'd only been 1 year. Like it was Pixar stuff last year, and then the year before I thought was Wondrous Journey.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Makes sense in your head. Yep,
that's what it was. So anyway, but it's just really, really gorgeous. It's very emotional. There's like a lot of super fun parts, and then there's a lot of like pull at the heartstrings kind of parts. Baymax flies over the castle, which is like, that's such a cool, like epic part of the show. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. I'm very, very excited to be able to experience this again. We got to, when we watched this 2 years ago, we did of course, we had to do like the classic be in front of the castle. But again, Small World, it's such a great and underrated spot to enjoy these nighttime fireworks shows because you get the projections, you get the fireworks, and it's just a much more relaxed space to enjoy these things in. The only thing you don't get is you don't get the characters flying over the castle, so you won't get to see Baymax.
Unless you turn around. You can turn around.
I think you can see it, and he's not just like a little dot. We'll have to try. We'll test it out and let you know how well you can see it. But yeah, just super fun.
Yeah. This is my second favorite fireworks show Disney's ever done, so I'm very happy this is back. So this and Paint the Night, it's going to be a wonderful combination.
Mm-hmm.
Also talking about returning favorites, of course, the Better Together Parade at Disney California Adventure has come back.
It's cute. It's so cute.
So that's exciting.
And that debuted last year for Pixar Fest.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm glad
it's super cute. It was good. We only caught it once, maybe. Okay, once or twice, yeah. And it's so fun. The floats on this are just really gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very fun. So those are like the big entertainment things that we're... Oh, I forgot. I can't... It is because I have been spoiler free on the last one. World of Color, Celebrate Happiness is now showing at Disney California Adventure. And all I know is like the concept art promo thing. So I know that like the inside out emotions are there, and we've got I see like some Encanto, and we've got some villains. I see Ursula and Scar, but the one that I'm the most excited about is Powerline. We have a Goofy movie will be part of this new show, but you have actually watched a video of it.
I did.
So we do have a funny thing that if you were part of the streams this past weekend, we were going back and forth, and I was saying, I think we should do the World of Color dining package. And we talked about this
Dessert
a couple.
party.
Oh, yeah. Dessert party. We had talked about this a couple on an episode recently. And people have been like writing in and saying, do it. It's great. Like, we really enjoyed it. And there's only been one or two people that said, eh. And I think the difference is which showing you go to. So I think I've determined the earlier showing, if you're going to do it, the earlier showing is the one that you want to go to because you're less rushed than if you do the late showing. And Tage's like, no. Like it is because it's expensive. He's like, I don't think it's worth it. Da, 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 da. So anyway, so that was the whole.
Mostly because I don't usually find World of Color that it's not that I hate the show. I just don't enjoy it as much as some of the other shows.
So last night, flash forward, right? He watches somebody's video. Mind you, it's the video. It's not even actually seeing it in person. And he joking's like, okay, this is amazing. Teresa may be able to convince me to do the dessert package now.
Let me qualify it. So here's what changed my mind. First of all, I even rewound it and made James watch part of it because the very beginning, before the show starts,
the Muppets
are there. Do you know anything about this?
No, I know nothing. I told you.
Who is my favorite Muppet?
Well, Sam Eagle.
Yes. Guess who is prominently in this?
I was going to, if it wasn't Sam Eagle, Pepe Le Prawn.
He's also great. But Sam Eagle. And there's I don't know if he's a new Muppet or he's a Muppet that I'm not familiar with.
Sure.
But he plays a lawyer.
Mm.
And so
Sam Eagle's a lawyer?
No,
or the other Muppet?
The new Muppet is a lawyer. And so Kermit is coming out and talking with this lawyer because the lawyer has tasked the Muppets with giving the pre-show safety thing for World of Color of like, the lights are going to be dimmed. Don't leave the area, blah, blah, blah. And the lawyer keeps coming out of like, nope, that's not going to cut it or whatever. And like, they keep having it's very
cute.
It's very Muppet. I will say, it's just great. That's all I'm going to say. It's just great. I just love it so much. Sam Eagle, it's just wonderful.
The Muppet pre-shows? Okay, so now let's get on to the main event. What's your, spoiler-free, your thoughts on World of Color Happiness?
So it has a storyline that I think actually is weaved together well. It is the most Phantasmic-like storyline that World of Color I think has ever had.
Sure.
Because they had just regular World of Color, which to me, the first version always kind of felt like a clip show of just like clips of things.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really like a story.
Yeah.
And then World of Color 1, I thought did a really good job kind of weaving it just takes one person could do a thing. And that I liked that one. It still wasn't like the best.
But we really, that was our favorite World of Color version.
And so this one did the same thing. So as you would imagine, it uses the people from Inside Out, thank you. It uses the emotions. And of course, it's Joy leading, like always. And throughout the show, she goes through kind of each of the emotions and how they all bring like something to things, how they all are part of happiness. Even sadness is part of happiness.
Sure.
And so that celebrate happiness, right? And so it brings all this together. And of course, it weaves in other characters and stuff that come on.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of some of the funny things that happen in the show. Like she brings out embarrassment and was like, embarrassment, what about you? And then it just like doesn't do anything. And she's like, great. And like moves on because obviously, but it does a really great. So the story is wonderful. Like it actually has one. And one of my favorite things in the entire lagoon is the fact that they do the lighting on the Incredicoaster.
Yeah.
They use that a lot.
Oh.
And I love that. And they use a lot of lasers. This show probably has some of the least amount of projections that any of the World of Color shows have done because they use other things. Like the lights on the back, like lasers drawing characters in the water.
That's cool.
Stuff like that. So I really like that. Of course, they use the Muppets and all that stuff too for the beginning and whatever. And it's really good. It's really good. They use the giant fire thing a couple times. It's just really good. And I'm excited to see it in person because I think it'll be better even in person. But I might, after we record, make you watch the Muppet part because the Muppet part is just freaking hilarious. And it's not the show. It's just the little pre-thing.
There you go.
But the show itself, really great. Really recommend it. It is one of the times. So I was thinking about it as I was watching it about Fantasmic and how when Fantasmic debuted, it had like a lot of like the things that were current then.
Sure.
This show has a lot of the current movies now. So like Encanto is in it, of course, Inside Out is in it, Turning Red is in it. So like there's all these characters from these newer movies that are in it, and it's done really well. And I'm like, I really appreciate this.
There you go.
So,
I even see the star from Wish there.
Yeah, they even had that song from Wish in it, and I was like, oh, this is the first time I've seen Wish in like anything really.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good. Like I said, I would tell people who are skeptical about it, maybe give it a chance. Amazing was the scene when they bring out Anxiety. There is a chaos similar to the movie that happens with Anxiety when Anxiety gets like crazy that I think the Lagoon does a really spectacular experience with.
Sure. Interesting.
I'm trying not to spoil anything.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm sure we have some listeners that are like curious but don't want to know all the ins and outs and details.
It's very good. I think I've given you a good just kind of...
I think you did excellent.
They did a good job.
You did a really good job.
So I'm excited for it. Teresa has convinced us to do the thing, but now when we went to look, we don't have
it wasn't
package
me
there.
convincing, it was the show that convinced you.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have thought about it if you wouldn't have been like, we should do the dessert party sometime.
But yeah, so we're hoping we have a specific day and time, showing a specific day of our trip and a specific showing that we want to try and snag. So everyone put your good luck into the universe, I suppose, and hopefully we'll be able to snag it. Otherwise, the other thing we talked about too was we were looking ahead at our short little trip that we're doing for July, and we're like, maybe we'll do it when we're down there for Disneyland's true 70th.
Do you think I should book that reservation now, and then we can always cancel it?
We'll double check what the cancellation policy is, because this is unlike a dining reservation. This one you prepay for.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
we don't want to accidentally pay for it twice.
Sure. Yep.
But anyways, a couple other really fun things that we're looking forward to. Decor. There's tons of fun, bright color decor that we've been talking about throughout, or for the last several episodes. It feels like
all the merch,
tons of merch, and the other super fun thing is the enhancements to 2 attractions. The first one I think is probably the one that everyone is like the most excited about because it changed the attraction gameplay. So that would be Midway Mania. They have like 70th stickers, kind of look like they're stuck on some of the different targets that made the targets higher values. So that's pretty darn fun and exciting. Apparently that was the only thing that had any sort of a wait time in DCA
Oh,
on
sure.
Friday for the kickoff. But then the other really fun thing too is Miguel and Dante have been added into It's a Small World. And just from the photos and videos that we've seen and even just the concept art, it's very seamless. Like if you, again, did not know that this was a new part of the Small World attraction in the Mexico area, you would not know that this is new. They did such a wonderful job. So I'm excited to go see it in person. Because the other fun thing too that a lot of people may not always catch is as you go past some of these scenes, you might catch little hints of music specific to that movie or that character. So like when you go past Alice or when you go past Cinderella, you might catch different things to do with, different sounds. So I'm curious if there's a little bit of music from Coco along with Miguel and Dante or not. So we will find out though.
I was just also remembering that there's also not 70th related, but there is the Galaxy's Edge projection show, which I heard that they actually added some different projections during the fireworks show onto the spires.
Sure.
Like when they're not doing the other thing or something. I don't know. They said that there's some stuff.
Is the Skywalker saga thing still going, or was that only for Season of the Force?
They kept it because they still have the nighttime gathering for it, which is what I was looking at.
Well, the nighttime gathering, it also says to view Fire of the Rising Moons.
Oh, sure.
Which is the show that they do alongside of the fireworks.
Sure. Do you remember how much this is supposed to cost? I'm just looking at this dish and I'm like,
yeah, we talked about this and it looks so interesting. We'll look into it. We're going to have a very full dining reservation.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen
calendar.
This trip necessarily, but like in the future.
Never say never, Tage.
I'm just...
I did see that they had reservations for this when I was looking for other stuff earlier today because I was just poking around because I was curious.
Teresa likes to poke.
So some of the specific things that we are doing for this trip is we did book ourselves. We're going to treat ourselves to a Cafe Orleans Fantasmic dining package. Tage has done the dining package at Cafe Orleans. I have not done Cafe Orleans just yet. We were going between that and Rancho because we really enjoyed the Rancho one. The Rancho dining package is just such a good value. But we decided that we were going to just kind of use this as an excuse to have a nice sit down, more relaxed type dinner. So that is something we're very much looking forward to. Isn't it crazy? Like, if it wasn't for the fact that we booked the dining package for Fantasmic, I kind of keep forgetting that Fantasmic is also going on with all of this other nighttime entertainment that's happening. There's so much nighttime entertainment going on. It's wonderful. But the main reason we booked this trip is we're heading out for the Disneyana event, which is on Saturday, the 31st. That's like the event. So that's where there's like panels and discussions, and there's the awards ceremony dinner in the evening. And this is a full day long event this time around. We were just looking at updating our calendar to make sure we had all of our times down for everything. This goes from 9 a.m. until 8:30 on Saturday. So that is a full day full of all sorts of fun, awesome Disney nerdy things that we just really, really love. So if you are also going to be at the Disneyana event Saturday, please come say hello to us. We know a lot of weekly tiers also enjoy going to this wonderful, wonderful event. So we always kind of have an impromptu, like not actually planned meetup. We've done even little group photos for at Disneyana too, just because it's so fun to see our weekly tier friends that are also Disneyana fans at that event each time we go.
We've definitely turned some people onto that event because I feel like there seems to be more and more people, and it's just a great event. Like who's there this year?
So this year they are honoring Michael Vargo.
Your good friend Michael Vargo,
and Tim O'Day is also going to be there. It's quite the lineup this year. Let me pull it up really quick. The people that are being honored are Michael Vargo and Tim O'Day. Guest speakers, we have a whole lineup of guest speakers. We've got Jim Magan, James C. Mulligan, Sandy Little, and then Disney influencers, which is kind of quite a few different folks that they have that either have social media accounts or, whatever, YouTube channels, those sorts of things. The people that I know influencer-wise that are going to be there are Justin Scard and Gothic Rosie are both going to be there. Some of the other people I am not familiar with yet, but I'm curious to learn more about them. They also, this was interesting. Oh, maybe it's not going to happen anymore. They had like the person of like somebody with Spirit jersey was going to be there.
Oh,
Don Hahn is going to be there as well. And Christopher Merritt. This is just getting better and better. Tickets are still available if you are wanting to go do this. But yeah, I'm looking at all the fun things that are happening on Saturday. There's an early bird drawing where 4 lucky winners could win anywhere from $100 to a $50 Disney gift card. That's pretty exciting. There's a fantasy pin gift that was designed by Rick Law. Ooh, a piece of art created by Willie Ito. Panel discussions, of course. Meet the team from Spirit Jersey. That's pretty fun.
Sandy Little, president and team.
Oh, yeah,
from
yeah.
Spirit Jersey.
There you go. A live auction for charity. This is going to be super fun. Packed fun. So panels discussion with Jim. There's like some of the things that these people worked on is just, it's your it's my childhood. It's your childhood. All sorts of fun stuff. Like Jim worked on DuckTales, Tailspin, the Gummy Bears, Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
Come on.
I'm just looking here because I'm excited because we've talked with Michael Vargo a few times. Even on the show, we had him on the show once.
He's wonderful.
I'm excited to hear him just talk because like he has so many cool stories and stuff like that. And he's just such a wonderful human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's been with the company since 1992. And the thing that's so cool about Michael is, yes, he works and is employed by the Walt Disney Company, but he himself is just he's just a huge fan. So you can really tell with D23 stuff that they pour their hearts and souls in it because it's all fans that are creating these experiences and all these awesome things for other fans. So I just think that's really, really cool.
Yeah. It's going to be a great event for sure.
It is.
The next day, we're going to the Spotlight Series and the Walt Disney Archives 55th anniversary celebration, which is going to be, it's at the Imagineering campus. It's on Flower Street.
So it's at the air terminal.
Yeah. So that's going to be really cool because that's going to be it's the Archives 55th anniversary, which is good because wasn't the 50th was during COVID, if I remember right, because they were going to do a bunch of stuff and then they had to cancel. But so that's going to be really exciting to be there and see that stuff. I don't know how we got lucky because the other thing that we're going to talk about in a little bit that I'm not going to spoil now came up, and then this archives thing came up, and it just happened to be this
perfect.
Also, the Magic Key stuff for the 70th is happening.
The only thing that I'm a little sad about that we almost had another thing line up super well that you probably won't be as excited about, but this month is Travel Agent Appreciation Month.
Okay.
And Disney's holding a special event to honor like Disney travel agents travel agents that specialize in Disney. So like our friends at the Concierge. And so there's a special event that like the travel agent and a guest could go do, but it's literally like it starts 3 days after we're there. I'm like, dang, it's so close. I don't know what all is going to be involved in that. We'll have to talk. We do have some folks from Concierge that are able to go, so I'm very curious to hear what's going on for that. But I thought that was so fun. They usually only do these at Walt Disney World, so it was a pretty big deal this year that it's at Walt Disney World.
Well,
and they're also doing something at Disneyland. So, but that's okay. I'm so excited about that piece of art for the Magic Key holder.
Yeah, it looks really neat.
Like little 70th celebration. Yep, I'm bringing a tube so we don't have creases in our very cool.
I'll just wrap mine around my key. No.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, how lucky are we? So, I mean, that was perfect. We didn't even mean that segue. So, D23 is hosting this super cool event honoring the Disney Archives. Yeah. And D23 members get to go and experience this. We just got our tickets. Tickets just went on sale for this past Friday. It was a little bit of a hiccup.
Quick turnaround.
It's a very quick turnaround. And I kind of said to Tage, because I've been watching with the Spotlight series and the D23 Theater series. They've been doing monthly things. And so I said to Tage, I'm like, what if it just so happened that one of these in-person things happened to align with our trip dates? Wouldn't that be amazing? And then here we are, it did. Because the other
Two
ones
of them.
the other ones that they've done for the Spotlight series have been really incredible. Like the one that they did for Indiana Jones was held on Imagineering campus. They got to see a panel with current and former Imagineers discussing the attraction. They got to do like a little bit of a tour of some of the areas of Imagineering, and then they got to have a shopping event at Mickey's of Glendale, which is the store on the Imagineering campus. I mean, come on, that's not something you get to do every day. How cool.
Oh, I wish I would have seen this cool Making of Indiana Jones Adventure one back in February.
That's the one I'm talking about. That was the first one that they did, which I was like, this is so cool. The most recent one that they had in California was highlighting Duffy and Friends, which we had Weekly Tears that went to that, and they said it was super fun and very adorable and cute. Surprises around every corner. I feel like it's not a D23 event if there aren't like surprises that also happen. So very, very fun. So we're very excited to be able to experience one of these for ourselves.
Oh, this is so cool.
I know.
Continued with a walkthrough experience of the Imagineering Preview Center. Oh.
Maybe we'll be lucky. Who knows?
Guests got up close with innovations like the holotile floor, and stuntronics and illusions.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, okay, cool.
I know. See? So we're doing that Sunday morning. Depending on timing, we're hoping if it all works out, we might swing by the Disneyana show and sale to just poke our heads in, say hi, see what we can see, because there's always so many cool things happening at the Disneyana show and sale. And then that evening is when our in-person meetup is with everyone. So that's why we got to be careful about our times. We don't want to miss our own meetup. That would be rude.
Yes. And we love our meetup.
And we love the meetup. So if we would have known ahead of time that this 55 thing was happening, would we have maybe shifted the timing of the event? Yes, but this was a last minute thing that we just couldn't pass up, and the timing again works out well. So sadly, we may just have to miss the show and sale portion of Disneyana this time around, but
then on Monday, we are going to the Walt Disney Studios for the official tour
presented by D23.
So we're going to be doing that. And so this is going to give us a visit to Walt Disney's office suite, which I don't know what I'm going to do in this one.
That's the whole, that's the cherry on top.
We also get to stop at the archive, so it's two archives in one. A stroll through the Legends Plaza and a special Saturday experience. Oh, I guess that's only on Saturdays. Never mind. But yeah, so lots of cool stuff that I'm very excited. Stroll through the original animation building. It's going to be great. It's going to be like any tour, I think. I think we're going to learn so much stuff that we didn't even expect to know or learn, or I don't know, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah. The other cool thing too is that you can go early to your tour time. So you can be allowed on the studio lot 30 minutes prior to your tour, but you can go get something from the from their lunch service place. So I'm like, we need to do even if we just go grab a drink before we start on our tour or something, that it feels like such a cool experience that again is not something us regular people are able to do and experience. And this is a historic campus. Walt used to roam these halls and be in these areas, and a lot of the legends have all, you're kind of walking hallowed halls, I guess, in a way. So even though it's maybe I don't know, just the lunchroom kind of thing, it's maybe not that big of a deal for people that work there every day because it's just part of the studio. I really want to go check out the canteen for some reason.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited to experience this because we actually had this booked before COVID. That next trip we had in April of COVID got canceled. So it's been a long time. It's going to be really great to do this on that Monday. What else do we have?
Oh, it's called the Studio Restaurant. I was calling it all sorts of different things.
That's okay.
If you get to the tour early, you can go grab lunch or a snack over at the Studio Restaurant, which, again, maybe we won't even be hungry at that point, but gosh darn it, we're going to go and we're going to get something because you gotta. So yeah, this trip, we keep joking, I should knock on all of the wood, but it feels like it didn't even intend to be this jam-packed, fun, amazing adventure that it's turning out to be. It was just it literally, we picked these dates because it was when the Disneyana event was happening, and everything else has just kind of fallen into place around that, which is absolutely incredible. So we feel so lucky and so fortunate
that we picked this time,
that we get to do these things and experience all these things. And we feel even more grateful that we get to share these experiences with all of you. So be sure, if you would like to follow along on our adventures, follow us at DLWeekly. We will be doing different posts, videos.
Where?
On Instagram, sorry.
There you go.
I'm bad at social media. So follow us at DLWeekly on Instagram and also on Facebook to kind of follow along on all of our adventures that we're having during this trip, and kind of keep, if you want to keep like in time updates or, you know, that kind of a thing. But obviously we're going to be talking about this on future episodes as well, so you can hear about all of these lovely and wonderful and cool, awesome things happening and that we get to go do and see and experience. And if you're going to do the parks soon and you're looking forward to 70th stuff, or if maybe you've always thought about, what is the Walt Disney Studio Tours? Is it something that, you know, it sounds cool, but is it something I'd really be interested in? We will have kind of some fun behind the scenes things that you guys can take a look at. And like I said, you can kind of experience it along with us. So make sure you follow along.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited for all the 70th stuff. And I'm even more excited as well for our next trip in July, where we get to experience, well, we get to do the Mouse Meet, of course, which is going to be amazing. I've never been there, but Teresa has spoken up so highly. And there's going to be a bunch of weekly tiers there. And it'll be really cool to see the Walt animatronic experience in the Opera House for that trip, too. And we'll talk more about that as we get closer to that trip. But it's going to be a great summer to be a Disneyland fan, that's for sure.
Yes. Well, our friends over at All Enchanting Ears have been busy. They make fun and unique ears, plus ear holders, straw toppers, lithophane, and so much more. They're offering a special discount code available to all weekly tiers. So be sure to use code DLWeekly15 for 15% off your entire purchase. Head on over to allenchantingears.com to check them out. This is not Disneyland related, but it's been a very exciting thing. They have special, we're not going to call them ears because you don't wear ears when you visit Universal, but they have a line of portals that they have come out with for Epic Universe's grand opening. Actually, 2 days from now was when the grand opening happens. But yeah, so you can even get Universal gear from All Enchanting Ears now as well. So head on over and check them out.
Looks like we're coming in for a landing, gang. But please stay listening until trivia comes to a stop. And then you can walk to the nearest exit. Thanks for listening to the 8th wonder of the world, DL Weekly.
Welcome back to Trivia Land, where we are going to find out the dates of those events in Disney park history and see how Tage and Teresa did and how you did listening at home. Tage, Teresa, how are you feeling?
You know, I thought at the beginning we were doing kind of okay, but then I fell off.
Then we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right.
Maybe we'll get lucky.
Well, let's find out. Well, as you know, Disneyland is celebrating its 70th anniversary this year. I know that you know everything about the things that happened 70 years ago, but let's find out what you know about the 1970s. To start this adventure, in what year did Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom open? Both of you not even hesitating, just throwing out the number 1971. The correct answer that I was looking for was 1970. Of course, you know it's all going to start with that. 1.
Perfect.
Ooh. Good job on that one.
Well, that was the first one. Now it's
1 down.
Hey, you are 20% already.
Yep.
Well done on you.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yes. Your second question. In what year did Tomorrowland expand with the addition of Space Mountain and the GE Carousel of Progress, further diversifying the park's offerings? You said 1977 in Disneyland, and you left it at that. The answer that I was looking for was originally 1975 in Disney World, and then followed up by 77 in Disneyland.
We did converse about that afterwards.
We did talk about that it was 75 in Disney World. I didn't realize you needed 2 answers.
Well,
Nope. You can't change the rules.
I did put in the notes on the computer machine here that you had the 77 Disneyland. So
On the computer machine.
yeah,
I feel like we
machine.
got that right.
Yeah, the thing on my lap, the laptop.
Full credit.
That's the word I was looking for.
Because that is the one and only Disneyland question.
No. Well,
Told you, space-time portal.
Oh, wait a minute. When did Carousel of Progress move to Walt Disney World? Oh, so it was a Walt Disney World question because the Carousel of Progress. That's the only way that we knew that it wasn't Disneyland because, yeah, Carousel of Progress. Tomorrowland expanded with Space Mountain and Carousel of Progress.
Yeah.
So it's Walt Disney World. So 75 was the actual real answer.
Okay. I was like, what are you trying to say? I don't understand.
Yeah,
Okay.
so 75 was the real answer.
Okay. Fair.
but you were correct in knowing that Space Mountain was 77 in Disneyland.
Dang, it was not
That's
at
good.
Disneyland for that long. So the Carousel of Progress was in Disneyland from 1967 to July 1967 to September 73. That really wasn't that long. I thought it was there much, much longer.
Nope.
Dang.
That's what happens.
I would like it back. Disney,
I would
Disney
also like
World,
it
we
back.
lent that to you. Can you please return it now? You're overdue.
Does it? I mean, it's better. It would be better than the
Then nothing.
Star Wars launch bay or whatever that's
Yeah.
supposedly in there.
All right, moving on.
Your third question. Disney's River Country Water Park opens,
Oh,
marking
yeah.
the beginning of Disney's expansion into water parks. You said either 1979 or 1978. The correct answer that I was looking for was 1976.
Oh,
So close, just a year off.
2 years off. You said 78.
2 or
Oh.
3. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Your fourth regular question, or your fourth question. The Main Street Electrical Parade makes its Florida debut,
Oh, yeah.
becoming a beloved tradition at Disney World. You said 1974 or 1973, and you knew that it started in Disneyland in 1972. The correct answer that I was
Oh.
looking for in
I'm
Florida
thinking right then.
was 1977.
My goodness.
In fairness, Teresa, we are not Walt Disney World
True.
experts.
And your final question. Construction begins on Epcot, fulfilling Disney's long-term vision for a research and development center. Both of you say 1978. The correct answer I was looking for was 1979.
Ah,
So close.
well, you don't come to this podcast to learn about Walt Disney
Nope.
World, but we did
Nope.
tonight, actually.
We did.
Well, listeners, how did you do listening at home? How do you think Tage and Teresa did? Do you have questions that you would love to hear asked on the air? Because we could use some more questions. We're getting awfully thin on our listener-submitted questions, and sometimes we have to dive into all things Disney because that's what's out there for us. So, if you've got those perfect questions and you'd like to help us out, we'd appreciate the help, and feel free to send those in to us at dlweekly.net/trivia.
Well, we will be back next week with more Disneyland news and information.
Until then, go out and enjoy the park.
And a special thank you to Sidel for editing the podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome aboard the DL Weekly podcast. Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding. If this is your first time listening, we hope you'll check out our website at dlweekly.net. If you have more time to spend, becoming an official weekly tier at dlweekly.net/support is an especially good value. Thanks for traveling with us today, and we hope you have a happy and memorable listen to this week's episode.
Hey, it's Austin James. Yes, I'm living with diabetes, but it doesn't have to define me. Thanks to the Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor, I get real-time glucose readings throughout the day. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor is small and easy to wear, giving me the freedom to focus on my life as a parent and a musician. Now this is progress. You can get a free sensor at freestylelibre.us.
Offer available for people who qualify. Visit myfreestyle.us to see all terms and conditions. Certain exclusions apply. Data on file, Abbott Diabetes Care, or prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
I'm not exactly a tech genius, but I knew one thing for sure. If I wanted my small business to crush it, I needed a website that worked like a pro, and I needed it yesterday. Lucky for me, Bluehost made it ridiculously easy. With their AI design tools, building my website was a walk in the park. I could customize, optimize, and monetize everything exactly how I wanted. In just a few minutes, I had a secure site up and running. I couldn't believe how straightforward it was. And getting found online? Bluehost helped me with that too. I perfected my keywords and meta descriptions with their search engine tools. The AI even gave me suggestions to improve my pages. Now I can sit back, relax, and focus on my customers, while my website continues to rank higher and higher on Google. With their 30-day money-back guarantee, I wasn't worried about taking the plunge. And now I'm so glad I did. Head over to Bluehost.com and build something special today.